the whole regular season. Teams fought, teams battled, and they tried to make the playoffs. But the time is here. 16 have made it. Those 16 are Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Eric Almirola, Ryan Newman, and Clint Bowyer. So those are your 16. Today, well, we're going to have a full playoff preview. We're going to go through each of the rounds. We're going to go through each race, who I think is going to win those races, who's going to advance through each round, and eventually who's going to win the championship. But I will be showing you my bracket as we go through this. A name in like Monster Energy green means they won a race to advance. If they have their name in black text, that means they just moved on based on points. So as you see that, you'll be surprised. And if a non-playoff driver wins, if I predict that, which I do at one point, you will see that. Now let's get into it. So first race, first round, Las Vegas, Richmond, Charlotte. 3 completely different tracks. You got a 1.5 miles at Las Vegas, your standard tri-oval 1.5 miles. You got Richmond, a short track, 0.75 mile track. Then you got the Charlotte Roval, only the second time we're going there. Will it be another crap fest? That's the question. But for this first race, I'm going to pick a shocker. I got a lot of bold predictions in this. Alex Bowman is going to start off the playoffs with a win. I have Alex Bowman as the first one advancing through the playoffs to the second round with a win at Las Vegas. Why, you may ask? You're like, you're crazy. He's only won once all season. He hasn't run good since like June or something. Here's why. If you look at the two of the 3 tri-oval races that he's run so far this year, Kansas, he was leading late and ended up finishing second to Brad Keselowski after getting passed late. Chicagoland, same thing happened, was leading so many laps, got passed late, came back, passed Larson again, won the race. He has won at those tri-ovals. He's pretty good there. Las Vegas is another tri-oval 1.5 miles. I think he can get it done. They've shown the speed there, that 88 team. So I think they can get it done at Las Vegas. So Alex Bowman wins the first race of the playoffs, shocks the playoff world, kind of gives it a little shake to it, and just it's going to be a shocker, I think. But I don't think it'll be anything like last year, that crap fest where everyone was wrecking and stuff. It is going to be a night race. I think it's going to be like 5 o'clock Pacific time or something when the race starts. And Alex Bowman, remember, those 2 races he did really good at were night races. So that's another reason to believe in this 88 team for that race. Second race, Richmond. I got Denny Hamlin winning this one. Denny Hamlin, he's won at a couple tracks this year that he has not won in a while, since 2010, and that was a magical season for him that he could have won the championship. Pocono, Bristol, I can't remember the last time he won Bristol, but I'm guessing 2010, honestly. And then Daytona, the Daytona 500 a couple years ago, and then Texas, the last time he won there was 2010. That was my first ever NASCAR race, the last time he won at Texas in the fall of that year. So I got Denny Hamlin winning at Richmond. Just getting back some old memories, you know. He hasn't won there in 3 or 4 years, I think. But I got Denny Hamlin winning that race. So he advances on a win. Bowman and Hamlin have locked their position in going into the crazy Charlotte Roval. Now the Roval, this is where it gets crazy. I don't see any wild eliminations, but guaranteed getting in on points. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Eric Jones, Kevin Harvick. I forgot to put Kevin Harvick on there. That's why he's so low on that list. I'm sorry. I missed him. But I got those guys getting in pretty easy on points, which that makes you ask. There are 2 spots available. Who wins? No playoff driver wins the Roval. That's right. You heard me right. A non-playoff driver will win the Roval. You may be asking who it is. Who could win that? Well, here's the thing. He finished 13th in this race last year in the number 32 Go Fast Racing. He's come very close to a win this year at Bristol. He's got top 5s at road courses, top 10s at road courses. He's got like a 5th place average at road courses this year. Matt DiBenedetto will get his first career win at the Charlotte Roval. After the great news last week, I think he's going to be a little pumped up going into the playoffs to prove a point and win a race. And I think he gets it done at the Roval. He did very good there last year. He's been great on the road courses this year. Now, last year, of course, Ryan Blaney won. And the same guys who won the first 2 road courses won the same thing. Truex at Sonoma, Elliott at Watkins Glen. I don't think that repeats. In fact, as we switch here to the final two guys who make the first round and who gets eliminated. I got Larson and Byron making it, which would eliminate Ryan Newman, Clint Boyer, Eric Almirola, and Ryan Blaney. Why am I eliminating Blaney so early? He is a Penske car. His two teammates are bound to make 2 deep playoff runs. He just, 2 of these 3 tracks, he has not done well at this year. Las Vegas, he got worse than 20th, I think. It was like 25th. Same thing for Richmond. It was like 22nd or something. He just didn't do good there. Obviously, the defending winner of the Roval, he could go out and win it again. But I just don't think he'll make it. He just hasn't shown the consistency that I need to see from him to win. Almirola, same thing for him. Same thing for Boyer and same thing for Newman. I just don't think they have the speed to keep up with these guys. So moving on to the second round of the playoffs is Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Eric Jones, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, William Byron. Not bad. Not bad. Most of those guys were predicted to make it to that round. But going on is Dover, Talladega, Kansas. Once again, 3 very different tracks. You got a fast, high-banked mile track in Dover. Then you got Talladega. We all know what Talladega's like. And then Kansas, your standard mile-and-a-half oval or tri-oval. So Dover, last year's winner was Chase Elliott. I have him repeating. I have him winning at Dover. Why, you may ask? He won last year in a late race restart. He was able to get up front. He was able to have the lead on that restart and win. And then this spring, he led a lot of laps in that race. If you remember, he was on that little hot streak. He was able to get a top 5, led a ton of laps that race. So I think he has it figured out at Dover. I think he gets it done again at Dover, gets himself his second career Dover win, and advances to the round of 8. Talladega's next. Anything can happen. Crazy, crazy stuff could happen. Guys could get taken out. But I think Brad Keselowski knows how to get it done there. He knows how to get it done at Talladega. He hasn't won since the spring Kansas race, I think it's been. So he has not won in quite a while. I think he gets it done at Talladega, a track he has had so much success at. And I think he gets a big fat dub at Talladega. And then obviously Kansas is that last race. I think that it will come down to Martin Truex Jr. and Kevin Harvick battling it out for that win. I think both advance, but I think Martin Truex Jr. gets the 5 playoff points and the win at Kansas and advances into the round of 8. And then next, as we switch here to my bracket, finishing out the round of 8, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch. Those are the other 5 that make it in on points, which would eliminate Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Alex Bowman. Jones, Larson, and Byron just do not have the playoff points to keep up with these guys. They would have to have really good finishes. Just guys like Elliott, Kurt Busch, they could potentially catch up to. But if Elliott does in fact win, and let's say Kurt Busch gets a win, then it's going to be hard to beat out guys like Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Hamlin who have so many playoff points compared to them to catch up. So I just don't see them catching up on those playoff points. They're going to be so far behind. So we now talk about the round of 8. The round of 8 is a crucial round. And once again, 3 completely different tracks. Martinsville, that's a short track. Beating and banging happens. Wrecks happen. Anything happens. Lap cars happen. The bump and run, the dump and run. Martinsville's crazy. We've seen that in the past. We've seen last year when Logano moved Truex to win after Truex raced him clean. 2017, we saw Elliott get dumped by Hamlin. Kyle Busch came to the line, won, and then there was a wreck everywhere after. We've seen some crazy things happen at Martinsville under this playoff format. So that race could be chaotic, but I think that Denny Hamlin, as I said, back to one of those 2010 tracks, keeps that success. He wins, locks himself into the championship 4. He does not want to have to worry about battling out his teammates on points to try to make it into the championship 4. I think him and that team are going to say, let's get this done. Let's get in early. So I think that he's going to go into Martinsville, get himself a big fat win, and not have to worry about Texas and ISM. Next is Texas. Texas, we've seen some chaotic stuff happen. 2010 Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton fight. 2014 Jeff Gordon, Brad Keselowski brawl after Keselowski body slammed Gordon. And then obviously the chaos happened. As a Jeff Gordon fan, I was furious about that, but I think Brad Keselowski has never won at Texas. I think he finally gets it done. He finally gets his first Cup Series win at Texas, and that he's going to have a lot of contenders. Truex has been good at the mile and a half. He has never won at Texas. Hamlin won at Texas in the spring. Kyle Busch won at Texas last year. Kevin Harvick has won the last 2 fall races at Texas, even though last year's was illegal and should have been kicked out. But I think he wins at Texas to get himself into the championship for a mile and a half. He has won on 2 mile and a halves already this year. Atlanta and Kansas, I think he gets his 3rd mile and a half one, which will be crucial for Homestead Miami, another mile and a half track. Now, the 3rd race is Phoenix. The last 2 times we've gone there, Kyle Busch has won on the new configuration, the switch start-finish line, and just everything else. I don't think Kyle Busch wins. Kevin Harvick, if anyone were to end Kyle Busch's streak at Phoenix, it's Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick has won at Phoenix so many times. I don't even know how many, but he has won a lot there. He has been one of the most successful drivers at Phoenix. I think that Kevin Harvick will win at Phoenix to lock himself into the championship four, but because he is going to be behind Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch in points, I think it's going to come down to Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. for that final spot in the championship four. So which one of them makes it? Kyle Busch. He's led the regular season points all season. He is absolutely just blown us away with points. Playoff points, stage points, wins. He's got 4 wins. I think he beats out Truex just because he has been more consistent this year, even though he and Truex have not won in a while. They both haven't won since June or something, but I think that Kyle Busch has been doing better on the long term since their last win. And I think that's gonna prove costly to Truex if they can't run consistently enough. Plus, Kyle Busch is better at these tracks than Martin Truex Jr. is. So I think Kyle Busch gets it. I think Kyle Busch gets that final spot in championship four, which of course eliminates Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano. Joey Logano does not get to defend his title in Homestead. Chase Elliott and Kurt Busch. So the Chevys are gone. No more Chevys. On to the championship. The championship for Homestead Miami. That's what we've been gearing up to get to, people. That's what we've been gearing up to get to. Denny Hamlin seeking his first career championship. He is desperate. He wants this so bad. He's worked his whole career for this. He's got the perfect opportunity. He's had such a good season. Up to this point, he has 6 wins on the season, if my predictions are correct, obviously. And then you got Brad Keselowski going for his 2nd championship. If Brad Keselowski wins, we get to see Drunk Brad on TV again, which was such a meme. And then Kevin Harvick looking for his 2nd championship. He has heated up so much in the second half of the season. Him and Hamlin both, they've been on fire this season ever since the second half. And then Kyle Busch, he's been the points leader, and he has just consistently been racking up points. He has just gotten to the championship four. Can he get his first win of the playoffs at Homestead when it matters most? Here's my answer. Denny Hamlin is going to fight his butt off. He is going to drive like he has never driven before. He is going to absolutely go all out. He's going to try his hardest. I guarantee you he's going to hurt after this race. He's going to be so sore if he doesn't have the best car. Kevin Harvick, I think he has a solid day, gets a top 10. He's going to fall short. Kyle Busch, same thing. I think it's going to come down to Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin. Why Brad Keselowski? He has done so good a mile and a half this year. Atlanta, multi-groove, mile and a half track, high banked, just like Homestead. He won there in the spring. There you go. Brad Keselowski, my preseason prediction for the championship. I'm going to stick with it. If I didn't make a preseason, I'd probably pick Hamlin, just to be honest. But because I believed in Keselowski at the beginning of the season, I believe he can get it done. Brad Keselowski gets his 2nd career championship, and he gets it done at Homestead, Miami. And we get to see Drunk Brad Part 2. That's right, Drunk Brad Keselowski. But that is my full playoff predictions. We saw some crazy things. We saw Alex Bowman stun the playoff field in the opening round of the playoffs in the first race. We saw Matt DiBenedetto, a non-playoff driver, win. We saw some crazy stuff like Ryan Blaney getting eliminated first round. Chase Elliott defends his Dover win. Denny Hamlin wins at some tracks he hasn't won since 2010. And then obviously Brad Keselowski. My preseason pick, I am picking yet again to win the championship. So hopefully this comes true. That'd be pretty clutch if my whole bracket was correct. The odds are pretty low, let's be honest. But I do have Brad Keselowski as my championship pick. That is my whole playoff preview, playoff predictions video. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave it a big fat like. This was a fun one to make. Tomorrow, we will once again start up the championship cases. Next up, we have Kevin Harvick, then Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Eric Almirola, Clinton Boyer, Ryan Newman. I hope to have those wrapped up next week. If not, then it's going to be awkward if someone's like so far out of the playoffs and I'm making a championship case for them. So that'll be awkward. So I'm trying to get that done by next week. By the end of the weekend, I am going to try to have to be halfway through. So tomorrow is most likely going to be Harvick and Logano. And then Friday will be Keselowski, Elliott. Saturday, I will do Kurt Busch, and then I'll do my Las Vegas preview. And then Sunday, I'll try to get Jones in maybe. And then Monday, Larson, Blaney. Tuesday, Byron, Almirola. Wednesday, Boyer, Newman. That is the plan. Nothing ever goes to plan. We saw yesterday Dominicano make that huge deal, and that kind of threw a wrench in it. But it was a positive wrench. I'm happy for him. So, yeah, thank you for watching this. As I said, leave a big fat like if you like this, if you enjoyed this video. Tell me your predictions in the comments, please. And if you want to subscribe, which you should, you need to subscribe right now because that would be 10 out of 10.